Hey everybody, welcome to the Book Nook. Today we're going to be talking about Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, the first book in the trilogy, and is it really worth the hype? Is the hype real? Is it? So, I read this book over the course of a week. It enters into a world where basically the bad guy won. So you have the Lord Ruler, who is over all the lands. You have the nobility, and then you have the lower peasants, who are referred to as the Ska people. The nobility looks at the Ska like they're lesser than humans, and they basically beat them and abuse them, and the Ska people are just so downtrodden and beaten down that they go about their lives and they don't try to do anything about it. And this follows the story of what happens when some people finally decide, I guess, they can't take it anymore. They want to do something about just the horribleness, the state of the world. And maybe it's because this is a book that we can relate to on somewhat of a level. And it follows the story of several different characters. Vin, who basically is like a thief and lives a thieving lifestyle. And she lives this lifestyle, and it's a bit better than just being a straight up Ska, which is, you're indentured to some sort of nobility, and most of them treat the Ska like garbage. And how she ends up hooking up with this other band of characters. One of them is Kelsier. There's a whole bunch of people in this book, but there's Breeze and Ham and Doxson, and in this world there are people called allomancers, which have the abilities to manipulate metals, and it can give them either strength, it helps when fighting, you can calm people's emotions, there's all these different things. And some people are mistings, which is they have one of these abilities, and then the very rare few who are Mistborn, hence the name of the whole book. The premise of the book, the bad guy won, so what happens now? What happens to all these people who are just in this dark place and defeated and just everything's kind of crap? Do they end up getting out of it? What happens? So the characters, you care about these characters deeply. This book, it made me laugh, it made me cry. I felt, the story was it was really good. It picked up steam for me. Like at first I was reading a few chapters, and then I read a few more. And then I found myself staying up till 7 a.m. because I couldn't stop. It was like a freaking train. Like I was like, chugga, 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 and just kept building up, and then it was full speed ahead, and Sin couldn't stop reading it. So is the hype real? For Brandon Sanderson, we return to this question. Yeah. It's very real. And I always wonder that, because authors that can chug out books at the rate that he does, you'd think something would fall to the wayside. And so this is only my first book. So I am definitely going to read the other books in this trilogy. And then there's more past the trilogy, which I may get into. But I'm going to try to read one a month. I don't want to overwhelm myself and do what I did with the Wheel of Time series. I decided I was going to read it all at once, and I burnt out on that on the 7th book and then never finished it. But this, I think if I read one Brandon Sanderson book a month, that should keep me to slowly chug along through it. Really well written, flow of words was phenomenal. You care about the characters, you care about what's happening, and it's not hard to understand. Yeah, there's these different lands, and it has all the maps in the front, and what's this and what's this with the Final Kingdom and this, that, and the other, and it just really just freaking grips you. So this was a 5-star for me. I don't know if I didn't want the hype to be real. I don't know. I feel like so many things get so overhyped, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. Sure. He can't be that good, can he? Well, yeah. Yep, he was. So this story it blew my socks off. I don't know how many different ways I can say that, so once is probably enough. The hype is real, story blew socks off, I laughed, I cried. It was phenomenal. So I will definitely be reading more Brandon Sanderson books. I will be reading the next one, I believe is called The Well of Ascension, and I look forward to reading that. That was recommended by the Ponderings of Pete. He is a fellow booktuber, and he reads a ton of fantasy. So his channel is very, very heavily fantasy themed, and it's pretty awesome. I will link his channel down below if you want to go check him out. And so, thank you so much again for joining me today in the Book Nook as we talked about Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. If you're interested in watching another fantasy-related video, there will be one right kind of here when I disappear and the page goes. So, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye!